Our electric company has decided to upgrade their grid, and in doing so they're going to put in poles that are 10 foot taller than the ones that we currently have. So yesterday they sent out crews that came through and cut any trees that would be in the way, and today that gives me a good opportunity to put my saw, my new Kobalt battery operated saw, through another test. Stick around and let's see what it can do. Hey folks, welcome back to Abundant Life Homestead. When I first showed you my saw, my new saw I bought, this Kobalt 40 volt max battery operated saw, we tested it out by cutting up a poplar tree that had blown over in a windstorm. Poplar is a good first test because it's tough to cut. It's heavy, it's wet, it can gum up your bar, and it kind of stinks, burns your nose a little bit, so it's not real fun to cut. It's a good break-in. Today we get a cut into some oak from this huge oak tree behind me. This is stuff that the electric company deemed would be in the way of the new lines, so they did a lot of trimming, and the guys left some big pieces for me just so I could test my saw out. Now, where poplar gets a large part of its weight just from the amount of water it holds, oak gets its weight from the sheer density of wood fibers. It's going to be a very different cut. It's a lot harder than poplar. It'll probably slow this saw down. I don't know, but we've got plenty here to try out, so we're going to see. While we're at it today, I charged up all 3 of my spare batteries for this saw. I haven't charged up the battery that came with it yet. I haven't needed it. We'll save that test for another day. These all came from old and used equipment that takes the same battery. I've got a 2 amp, a 4 amp hour, and a 5 amp hour. What comes with the saw is a 4 amp hour, so we're going to run my 4 amp hour battery first, see how far it gets us. Then we'll run the 2 amp just to see what it does, assuming it's going to give us about half as many cuts as the 4. And then if there's any left, we'll finish up the job with the 5 amp battery. Alright, safety glasses on, let's make our first cut. I cut all this stuff up for firewood for the campsite. Most normal wood, I don't want anything bigger than 12 to 14 inches. With my bad back, it's about all I want to move around. I'm going to cut these about the same, even though it's going to be heavier. I can move a lot of stuff around with the tractor with putting very little effort into it. So on a 14-inch bar, you usually get about 12 inches of cutting off of it. So I just use my bar to kind of guess where my 12 inches is going to be. Let's see how she does on oak. Alright, well, definitely didn't just drop through it. Took a little bit of pressure to get it, but not too bad for the first cut on oak. That piece is just a little over, but it'll be alright. Let's see if I can keep count here. We cut one of them. We'll try to keep count for our battery. It's about the same, just over 2 foot long. Good clean cut. I don't know how well the microphone picks it up, but it definitely, the oak definitely slows the saw down more than the maple did. There's 2 good cuts. Let's keep going. might cut that end a little short just because it's got another limb down there. I'll just cut off that crotch. Like that, probably the least of any cut we've done on the oak so far. You could hear it kind of grabbing and vibrating, but she got through it. What's that? 3 good cuts plus little limbs. There's 4. Oh. That one's bigger than the others, considerably heavier. That's going to be fun. Split it right down the middle. So again, I don't know how well the microphone hears it, but that slowed down quite a bit. That is probably more than the deepest I would want this into an oak log. Any bigger and it might stop it up. The chain looks like it's not getting oil very well. So let's see if we need to clean out these ports any. Take side panel. I've got plenty of oil on the side panel. So maybe the tree's just soaking up the oil that would go on the chain. Ooh, that's hot. Yeah, it's not getting oil very well. Clean out those holes a little bit. I don't know if my knife will get in there or not. Come on. There we go. I had some, that looks like grass, probably from when we cut up the poplar. It's plugging up that oil port. Run my knife through the chain race, see if we got anything else gumming that up. Yeah, there was a little bit come out, not much. She should start oiling now. Yeah, wipe all this off while we're at it. Not much in there. I did take the cover off, take the bar and chain off and blow it out, but I didn't actually clean the oil races. I didn't think I'd need to. Looks like I should have done that in the first place. And when you're putting the chain on this saw, I've learned it can be a little bit of a pain. Normally the stud that goes in the hole on your bar is on this side of your saw, but on this saw that stud is in the cover because it has this quick dial for tensioning it. So when you put that on, kind of get it in there, see if you can get it to start attaching, but you actually have to look down in here and turn the dial to line that stud up with your bar and get it down in there. That think we're on it. Loosen it up a little bit. See how much slack we got in our chain. Down gives you more slack. Up tightens it. And then the big dial puts your cover back on. So what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 good cuts now on this battery. Alright, let's do some more. Yeah, I'll just put it right down the middle of this one. There's 6. That one ain't need cut. I think I might wear out before the battery does. Longer than the chain, we'll cut right down the middle. Yeah. Forgot to put my jeans on the outside of my boots. Getting sawdust down in my socks. You'd think after all those years of working in a log yard I wouldn't forget little things like that, but I sure as heck do. Alright, so we cut number 7 on this battery. Those aren't too heavy. About 10 pounds in that size I just threw. There's number 8. Ten. I don't like curves in my firewood pile, so anywhere it curves I split that right down the middle. This will be 11. Helicopter going by. You can hear this start to struggle some as it cuts. Yeah, that's long. That was 13. still fairly smooth, but a lot more grabbing in there. This oak's gonna dull that chain pretty quick, I imagine. When I worked in the log yard, we'd be bucking up logs. We'd have to sharpen our big saws several times a day. So we'll see how far this little one gets. Maybe we can get a full battery on the chain, maybe we can't. All right. So that last one was 13, right? See if we're oiling. Yeah, we're getting good oil now. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna make it small, just from the good of my own back. 14. And one big thing when you're cutting on the ground like this, that dirt will dull your chain faster than the wood will. Make sure you keep it out of the dirt. There's 15. $16. $17. Jump over here and get this one out of the way. Starting to get a feeling I'm going to run out of wood to cut before I run out of battery. And these batteries have a built-in charge indicator on them, so you can always press the button and check and see where you're at. Oh no, we don't have much left of this 4 amp hour. It's got 1 out of 4 bars on the battery. So that was 17 cuts. Maybe we'll get to 20. About right here. Nope, that's probably it. Yep. It's the thing with these batteries, you gotta assume they're lithium ion. Yep, they say lithium ion on them. They act like a fully charged battery, but the moment they're done, they're done. Oh, we get a little more out of it. Probably not enough to finish the cut. Nope, still ain't through it. Nope, it ain't gonna get it. Ain't gonna finish. So we got almost 19 cuts on a 4 amp hour battery, same size it comes with the saw. I'll go grab the 2 amp and see how far that gets us. Alright, 2 amp hour battery going in. This is noticeably a heck of a lot lighter battery than the 4 and 5. We'll finish up this first cut, that won't count, and then we'll see how far we get with it. Let's cut these off. That sounds like it's spinning a lot faster than the 40 amp did on full charge, or 4 amp hour did on full charge. I've not actually tried this 2 amp hour battery in a saw yet. It came in a used hedge trimmer. Yeah, I'd have to go back and listen, but I think it's definitely spinning faster. Alright, we'll count that as one cut, just getting all those off there. Where are we at on this guy? Yeah, it kind of showed off on the little stuff, but it slowed down when we got it in the big one. So that's 3. Let's get some of this bigger stuff, and then we'll come back to these here later. This is probably going to be, that's going to be about the biggest one we've got to cut today. Biggest one with this on the smallest battery. Let's go for it. I don't know how well the microphone picked it up. She was whining in that one. Chain's still cutting good and smooth though. There's 4. Here's 5. Uh-oh. Yeah, 5 cuts in. She's already not liking the power it takes to cut through these. Tighten up that chain just a little bit here. Oh, there we go. Keep that bar down, should be alright. Let's do this one down the middle. This will be 6. Maybe not, huh? The battery shows 2 bars. She ain't happy. Nope. Hopefully the saw itself isn't overheating. Don't feel much heat coming off of it. It's got a huge heat sink in there for probably for a circuit board, capacitors and stuff. I don't know what's going to get the hottest in something like this, but let's let it sit for a minute. This battery's still claiming it's half charged. We'll take a break, let everything cool down, and come back to see if it's still going. Okay, the saw, the battery, and my butt have been sitting in the shade cooling off for about 20 minutes. This 2 amp hour battery still shows that it's half full. Let's see if it still doesn't have enough power to push the saw any further. If it does, here's a cut number 6. This car go by. Okay, she was still whining a little bit in there, but she made it. Yeah, I'm going to cut this one in half just to get more cuts out of what we got. This is number 7. Got a little burl on that. A wood turner might like that, but going in my firewood pile. Number 8. Still getting that high-pitched whine in there. I'm going to assume this 2 amp hour battery ain't quite giving this all the juice that it wants, but it's working. I don't think I'd go out and buy one brand new, but having a used 2 amp hour battery as a backup, it'd be alright. What is this, number 8? Oop. Alright, check the battery. Now it's down showing 1. It is probably done. Okay. We're going to say that battery's done for this round. So, 19 cuts out of the 4 amp hour battery. 8. 6, 7, 8, or this was 8. Nope, I had 7, 8. Okay, 8 cuts out of the 2 amp hour battery, almost half, not quite. Let's grab the 5 amp and finish this up. Make sure it looks like we're still getting oil. It appears so. That's all the big ones. I've got a couple medium sized to cut, one over here. Turn that a little bit. Still cutting fairly smooth. Now we got a bunch of small stuff to get to. That could probably go without cutting. It's not that big. Let's cut this mess off the end of this one. That size will be alright. Alright, I got some more limbs that came down from this tree. Let's go over to them. Well, small, even partially rotten stuff here. We'll cut it up, get rid of it. And we got some more on the other side. It's easy stuff when the oak's small diameter. Another car coming. You ever hear the saying, complacency kills? Yeah, I need to start watching what I'm doing. I'm just tossing them under the saw and could have just had one flip into me. Wouldn't have killed me, but it might have hurt. Alright, that's all that one. That stuff's real light, it's rotten. That'd be right. Let's see what we can get out of here. It's not heavy. This stuff's gonna hurt if I pull it. That one's white. That's very rotten. Whew. We'll give it a try. Oh yeah, that's white, rotten, full of mushrooms. Still enough wood in them to burn though, so. That don't necessarily need cut. I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay. A little warm out here today. That's it for the cutting. So average what, 8 to 10 inch white oak limbs, 4 amp hour battery that comes with the saw, made 19 cuts in that. 2 amp hour battery got us what, 8? We made 8 with it. I didn't count on the 5 amp hour because we were out of big ones and I was just cutting a bunch of small anyway. So if you decide to get one of these saws and you can afford it, get yourself another 4 or 5 amp hour battery. I wouldn't mess around with getting a 2 amp hour new or used. It's just for running the saw, it doesn't seem like it's worth it to keep it charged up. But 4s and 5s seem pretty good, and we'll see here eventually if the brand new 4 amp hour runs any stronger than the old used one. But being a lithium ion, it shouldn't. The used one shouldn't be any weaker than the new one. So I'm going to take another break here for a minute. I'm going to get the small stuff picked up, run back to the campsite. Once the boys get home, I'll have them loading the bigger stuff in the bucket, and then we'll take a look and see what our final results were for what we got on, I assume, 2.5 batteries. Let's look and see what the 5 says on its meter here. Oh, it's still showing 3, so we barely, a lot of small cuts, we barely got into the power of the 5 amp hour battery. But that wasn't the intention. You just automatically know your 5 amp hour is going to be better than your 4 amp hour. Has to be. So, pretty good job on this oak. I'll get busy, and once the boys get home, we'll look at the pile and get a report on it. Well, here it is, everything we cut up today. Pretty good pile of firewood once we wait for it to season, probably a couple years before we try to burn it on a campfire. I waited for the kids to get home. 3 boys and a tractor. Didn't take too long to get it all stacked up. There was a little bit of complaining and a little bit of forced labor, but they got it done. And the saw toughed it out today, I think. Proved itself up against the white oak. If I hadn't messed around with the 2 amp hour battery, all of this would have been an easy job on 2 standard batteries. Chain never went dull. We've used about half a tank of bar oil. Didn't have any unforeseen problems. She whined a little bit and got bogged down a little bit, but we're cutting dense white oak. That was to be expected. The oiler got plugged at one point, but we took care of that, and that happens no matter what chainsaw you use. Like I said in the first video with this saw, this is not any kind of sponsorship, paid promotion or anything. I bought the saw with my own money because I wanted it, and I wanted to share its performance with anybody who might be interested in one. If you got a little Homestead, I'd say go ahead and buy one. It's a great little saw. We've already proved it on poplar. Now we've proved it on white oak. I have no qualms about using it on any of the routine jobs around the homestead where we need to cut stuff up. These were just 2 abnormal situations, and took advantage of it to see what it would do. Well, that's all I have for you today. Appreciate you watching. If you like what you see and want to keep up with all the going on in our little homestead here, make sure you're subscribed so that you get all of our new videos. Sometimes they come out quick, sometimes it can be months in between, but that all depends on my health and taking care of family matters. But we always do our best to keep on trucking along. As always, I appreciate any support you give through likes and shares on the video. And I always look forward to any comments that you may leave and chances to interact with the viewers. Otherwise, I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to go have my supper. So until next time, keep on nourishing your dreams, cultivating your passions, and embracing the beauty of God's creation. Hope you all have a wonderful and blessed day. Thank you.